Let's start with a question nobody asks at funerals. Was this actually preventable? Or did the universe just have a bit that day? Because history is full of people who survived actual wars, actual plagues, actual assassination attempts, and then got by a snack. Today we're doing 5 deaths so dumb, so structurally pointless, that if you pitched them as fiction, an editor would send you home. These aren't tragic. These are the universe's blooper reel. Let's go. Number 5. Aeschylus, the guy historians literally call the father of tragedy. Which, hold that thought, because it gets worse. This is a Greek playwright in the 5th century BC, inventor of dramatic structure as we know it. A guy who fought at the Battle of Marathon, survived actual combat with actual spears. According to the ancient account, he was hanging out outside, and an eagle, carrying a tortoise, because eagles do that. They drop tortoises on rocks to crack the shell open. It's a real hunting technique. Look it up. This eagle sees Aeschylus's bald head, mistakes it for a rock, and drops the tortoise directly onto his skull. The father of tragedy died in a tragedy, with a twist ending so on the nose that modern historians think it might be a legend invented specifically because it's funny. Either way, somewhere a tortoise walked away from that completely fine, which is the real moral, if we were doing morals, which we're not. Number 4. Sigurd the Mighty, Viking Earl of Orkney, 9th century, a guy who conquered half of northern Scotland and beheaded a rival chieftain named Brigda, specifically to prove a point. That point being, apparently, look how dead this guy is. So he ties the severed head to his saddle as a trophy, very normal warlord behavior, rides off victorious, and Brigda, in death, delivers one final piece of trash talk. Because the guy had famously buck teeth, and as the head bounces against the horse's flank while Sigurd rides, one of those teeth grazes his leg. Just a scratch, a nothing wound, from a corpse that he was carrying as a prize. The wound gets infected, infection spreads, and Sigurd the Mighty, conqueror of Caithness, dies because the man he killed bit him from beyond the grave through sheer dental persistence. He didn't lose the fight. He lost the victory lap. Number 3. Adolf Fredrik, King of Sweden, 18th century. By all accounts, a fine, unremarkable monarch. Didn't start wars, didn't get overthrown, mostly just vibed in a palace. 1771. Fat Tuesday. The guy sits down to what witnesses describe as an absolutely deranged feast. Lobster, caviar, sauerkraut, smoked herring, champagne, and then the finale, 14 servings of semla, which is a sweet bun soaked in hot milk, traditionally eaten one at a time, as a treat, not as a personal challenge. He eats all 14. He dies that night of digestive failure. This man is remembered in Swedish history books literally as the king who ate himself to death. And somewhere in Valhalla, or wherever kings go, Sigurd is looking at this guy going, at least my death had a plot. Number 2. Franz Reichelt, early 1900s tailor, self-styled inventor, designs what he calls a parachute suit, basically a wearable tent. He's convinced will let a person float gently to the ground. He is so convinced that he petitions Paris authorities for permission to test it by jumping off the actual Eiffel Tower. They say yes, because apparently 1912 had zero HR department. He shows up. There's a crowd. There's a film crew. Everyone thinks he's going to test it with a dummy first. That was the plan, he told them. Instead, he straps it on himself, walks to the railing, hesitates for a solid, agonizing, on-camera 30 seconds, and jumps. The suit does not open. At all. Not partially. Not, well, it slowed him down a little. Nothing. This is one of the earliest deaths ever captured on film, and the footage exists, and it is exactly as rough as that sentence implies. The lesson? No, wait, we don't do lessons here. The joke is that he had a dummy specifically so he wouldn't have to do this, and used it as a coat rack instead. Number 1. Bobby Leach. In 1911, this man goes over Niagara Falls, the actual falls, in a barrel, on purpose, and survives. Second person ever to do it. Broken jaw, cracked kneecaps, but alive. Legendary. Permanently a guy who beat Niagara Falls. He spends years afterward touring, doing lectures, basically being a professional survivor. 1926. 15 years after cheating death via waterfall, he is walking down a street in New Zealand, slips on a piece of orange peel, breaks his leg, the leg gets infected, gangrene sets in, and he dies from complications of the infection. A literal fruit rind ended a man that 11,000 cubic feet of water per second could not. He didn't even get the dignity of a slippery banana peel, the comedy standard. No, it was a specific citrus, on a sidewalk, in a country he wasn't even from. Niagara Falls is somewhere furious it didn't get credit. And, callback, because Aeschylus opened us with an animal committing manslaughter from the sky, and Bobby Leach closes us with produce committing manslaughter from the ground. History really does have a type, and the type is, you survived the big thing, now here's the small thing. It's actually for you specifically. That's all for today. Till next time, I'm Fox, and eat your semla one at a time, you absolute Swedish king.